Welcome to officially the third episode of Championship Flow. If you've been here before, thank you very much. Yo, Mel, what's up?
What's up, good people? I'm back. I wonder if your followers actually recognize my voice. Is it recognizable?
I think it is. At least halfway through this podcast, they'll be like, oh, that's Mel.
When I start throwing shade, they'll be like, oh yeah, we remember.
The one who called men industrial waste.
Why? Why are you bringing that back? Clean slate today, you know?
I posted that clip on my status. Someone DM'd me and they just kept laughing at that. They were just like, industrial waste.
You should have repped me, bro. 2023, come correct. Can't just be using my lines out there like that.
But thank you for joining me. I know we're talking about something very close to both our hearts.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be here and talk about this. I'm going to let you introduce it though.
Yeah. Before, how are you doing? How's been the last week? We haven't seen each other in a minute.
I know. Yeah, adulting is throwing hands. This is not the 20s I signed up for, guys. I don't know. Can we revisit the contract? Because these terms and conditions, I ain't seen them. Shame. That's not what I signed up for.
You didn't read the fine print, eh?
Clearly not, because like the random jabs, I don't think you can never be prepared for it. Just everything is going well, then short-lived. But aside from all that, we're keeping afloat. We're good.
I mean, you look good. You look revitalized.
We try.
Awesome. I mean, April has just been so relaxed. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm dropping a ball here or there. I don't think anyone else
can relate. It's just you, my guy. Like, I've been telling this man, I'm like, we need his prayers word for word, because the way he's cruising,
Like, someone's looking out for me. Thank you.
Please
but yeah.
Just slot us in your prayers, ne? Maybe if you mention our names,
then maybe
it will, yeah.
Maybe Jesus will just be like, Emmanuel's friends. But let's get right into it. We're talking about Afrobeats.
Hey. There's nothing else that can get me in a good mood other than that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we only started clicking on the Afrobeat scene like last year.
Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't the point of departure.
I mean, it took me a while to kind of like marinate in it, you know?
Yeah. Are you then saying that your relationship like this with Afrobeats only started then?
So it had been gradual. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I know African Giant back and forth. Right.
Oof,
exactly. Sounds from the Other Side, 2017. Yeah. That was literally the first few albums I listened to. Twice as Tall, Burner's second album, didn't really like hold me down, but it was still very good, right?
Actually, I agree on that point.
But Made in Lagos dropped. At the end of 2020, hey. And I was like,
no, wizkid was fighting.
Whoa.
They told him rent was due when he was recording those songs, bruh.
So my relationship with Afrobeats had been building up gradually.
Yeah.
And 2022 literally jumped in. And I literally know the genre back to forth. Well, not back to forth, but
I think 2022 was such a good year for Afrobeats. I think because
spoiled.
Spoiled for choice, buffet, dude. You know, people were dropping EPs, albums, and then you already know Don Jazzy's proteges as well.
Those ones are carrying.
I know,
those
right?
Ones are carrying Afrobeats, bruh. Your Ira, your Bayani, your
Victornese, you know.
You're dropping names now.
Like,
you're dropping names now. But before we get ahead of ourselves,
which is so easy to do, we can talk about this all night.
How did you get started with Afro? Like, why do you relate to it so much?
You know, it's interesting because you like can pinpoint and say, you listen to albums and stuff. I think with me, it was like one song as you go, you know. So I literally remember probably the first Afrobeat song I heard was this song. It was called Yori Yori by P Square. That was in 2009.
Yes.
And it was hot back then, you know. But I don't even think I appreciated the fact that it was Afrobeats. I didn't know the genre, you know. It wasn't that big of a thing back then.
I don't think it was even named at the time.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so, you know. I mean, I don't know. Probably the people who are into Afrobeats technicalities can be like, yeah, this is where the name was derived from. But I mean, like, yeah, when you look at it from the perspective of like listeners and what was happening at the time, Afrobeats was not a thing, you know, like at least I don't think so, you know.
I mean, Spotify shocked me the other time. I literally thought Afrobeats was literally the only genre, right? But I mean, Spotify said I listened to 51 variations of Afrobeats last year. And I was just like, what do you mean?
Bruh,
right?
I feel like that's a whole other conversation, because I also realized that way later. They're actually different variations within Afrobeats. I was like, what do you mean, you know?
And what kept you going?
So I feel like it was just one hit after the other. There was this song, yo guys, if you listen to Burna Boy before he had the dreads, his Yawa Day era, there's there's also this other song of his, I can't remember what the name is, but it was around 2012, you know. And then you had Ole Ku as well, that Ice Prince era. So all that I think was between now 2011 and 2014-ish. And I think like, yeah, I just now became accustomed to the sound, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is catchy. And I kept hearing more and more of it. I think a lot of artists who established kind of like the genre coming up then, you know, you had Davido in 2014 as well, Aye, and all that. And then Wizkid was also coming up around the same time, Tiwa Savage. And then you also had Don Jazzy doing his thing then. So I think then is when I properly began to like get into Afrobeats, not only the music, but the culture as well. Because I feel like it's a culture, it's a movement, you know?
I think I really enjoy the culture.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Like getting behind the scenes, knowing everyone's story. You know what I mean? What words mean, you know, if you say last, we all know it's a party after that.
Come on. The lingo is definitely one of my favorite parts, you know?
Yeah. What are you currently listening to?
That's a tough question. This is what I was saying. You know who was so spoiled last year that
it was ridiculous.
I can't even exclusively be like I'm still pondering on Money and Love, for example, or I'm just listening to Burna, you know, or the upcoming artists are really doing it for me. And I just...
they're really good.
I don't even know where to start. Rema, we're just listening to Holiday right now and slapping. Like, I remember the first time I listened to Rema, it was his Colors Show 2019. I went insane.
With the teddy bear?
Yes. Ooh!
Rema needs to explain the teddy bear to me. Because when I watched that Colors Show, I was like, wait, is this the right Rema?
No, but like he killed it. I immediately knew from then. I'm like, I have to follow this guy, and he's blow up since then. Are you kidding?
Stratosphere.
I had such an interesting experience with one of my colleagues. So I talk about Afrobeats a lot. And half of the time, many people don't know the artists who I'm talking about. I mean, understandably so. People listen to their own versions of music and genres and stuff. But this specific day, I think like we're going somewhere together, like a client meeting or something. And then I hear her sing, "Baby, come give me your low, low, low." And I was like, "You listen to Rema?" And she was like, "No, but isn't that?" She was like, "No, but it's Selena Gomez and stuff." And I'm like, "Yes, but it's Rema as well."
It's Rema's song.
And like, what caught me about that interaction was the fact that she was actually singing Rema's part. She identified it as, you know, I know it because I know Selena Gomez, but I'm like, but you're singing Rema's part though, you know? And I was just like, that's how much it's become a culture now, you know? It's not just, hey, calm down by Rema, you know? But now it's like, it's transcending language, it's transcending people, it's transcending countries, you know? And like, how awesome is that?
I just love the fact that we have a sound that is ours.
That
right?
part.
No one can come and say we would never have made anything rhythmic, right? No one can come and say if it wasn't for X, Y, and Z, there'll be no Samsung. If there wasn't for Fela Kuti, there would be no Afrobeats, right?
Facts.
And for me, I literally just love the fact that it is homegrown. And what Afrobeats has allowed other sounds to do is literally just catch on.
Yeah.
what's been happening in SA. I mean, bongo music is literally like going through the roof. Bongo music is music out of East Africa, specifically Tanzania. And I mean, the crossovers.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
With that, I'm a piano as well. How many
Yeah.
Afrobeat songs have you listened to and you're like, just that I'm a piano undertone?
And
you
vice
know?
versa as well, right?
I know, right?
Because Davido tapped Musa Keys for one song that's blowing up, right? Like,
Exactly.
people, whenever I'm talking with my people, they're like, yo, bro, that song, Musa and Davido. I'm like, oh, okay, like, really?
And you probably find that if, you know, they wouldn't listen to those artists isolated. Like, someone may not be a Davido fan, but then it's like, oh, now Musa Keys is on it. Like, I like it now.
And someone might not be a Musa Keys fan.
But because Davido's on it, it's
Right.
like, okay.
And I mean, how I stumbled onto Musa Keys was his song Popopo Selema,
Yeah.
right? Victony got onto the remix.
Ooh.
Ha!
Yeah.
If I
After
tell
that, bruh.
that song, the first time I listened to it, I was just like,
Who's
whoa,
this?
whoa.
I think that's also how I got introduced to Victony. And then after that, he's also in Kulumental, right?
Victony is Colomento.
Yeah.
That
That's-
man has
I think
been
that's
making
also
hits.
how it started for me, and then just took off after that.
What else are you listening to beyond what was dropped in 2022?
Oh yeah, like you see, I got sidetracked. I started talking about Rema, and I was just
Don't worry, that's why I'm here, right?
I mean, there are a couple of artists right now that I'm listening to. I wouldn't per se, like I was saying, limited to one person. Davido's recently dropped. I haven't gotten a chance to sample that, but he does have a song with Fave on that album that I really liked. That's Your Baby Rhythm Girl, for those who are into Afrobeats like that. So
Cool.
that really caught my attention. And then we'll talk about listening to Rema Holiday. Hey, I feel like he just never disappoints, you
We
know?
need a tour from that man's.
I know, right?
We need a tour. We need a tour
That's
from
another
that man's.
conundrum, because why are Afrobeats artists not touring Africa? Like, they're touring everywhere else, and I feel like the platform is here, the followers are here, you know. So what's that dynamic about? Make it make sense.
Let's save that question for later in the podcast.
But yes, who else am I listening to? Ashake, obviously. I think his last drop was Yoga, if I'm not mistaken. But
2:30.
hey.
He dropped 2 weeks ago.
You see, like, bruh, you can't keep up with Ashake. In fact, if you move like that man in this life, I mean, you can't say you haven't made it. The way he just went off, I don't think we've even wrapped our heads around it, but all I can say is if you listen to Ashake, you definitely know Yoruba at some level. Because, no, that man has had us in chokehold, though.
Peace be unto you. That was the first song I heard. It wasn't in English, right? And for me, what the barrier was what kind of like stopped my progression to Afrobeats.
Yeah.
If it's
Why
Pidgin,
is it because you're just used to Pidgin mostly?
no, if it's Pidgin, it's easy, right? I can understand what the song is. I can't relate to a song if I don't know what it means.
Oh, really?
I can't.
So for you, it's not just... Because for me, I feel like with Afrobeats, it's the vibe. Because half of the time, I don't know what they're saying. But the vibe is just that catchy.
It's just hot.
Yeah.
I mean, so when I have the time, I go and do the research, right? So like last, my friends broke it down for me. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mona Lisa went to do my research.
Actually, I don't think till this day I know what Mona Lisa is about.
No, so he just damn, I haven't. How does
Majo Mona Lisa.
follow my command like zombie.
Uh-huh.
Go down on me
with your coca
body. So yeah, he's basically just talking about like a girl that he really likes very much, and he's like, you know, follow my command, follow my lead. But that one was a bit easier, right? Because it's in Pidgin.
Yeah.
So I literally just looked up lyrics. But
Must
when
be
I
nice to be West African, eh? We can't relate.
what can I say?
Yeah, if anyone wants any translations, hit this man up for a small charge, of course.
You know where you can find me, Championship Flow. So, peace be unto you. The song that I heard, the first Ashake song that I heard, and I was like,
Yeah.
why am I drawn to this song? I don't understand anything.
But it's doing what needs to be done.
But it was just hot. The video, hot.
Hey.
Ashake, literally, just every song that he
Can we
releases.
actually just
boom,
credit
boom,
that
boom.
man for his visuals? They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, I cut you off. I just had
Yeah.
to.
No. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like Ashake, he's literally carried the genre for a while, and I mean, he dropped in like what, 2021, end of 2021, 2022.
Bruh.
Do you remember his Jimmy Kimmel performance?
Yo, this is, oh gosh, this is one thing I also genuinely appreciate about Afrobeats. Like, and I'm not saying that with other artists, for example, they struggle when it comes to live performances and it's not different. But my goodness, have you heard an Afrobeats artist like perform, for example, on these live shows? Burna Boy's Tiny Desk. I mean, colors for it's insane how good it is. I don't know, the experience is just heightened. They sound so good. Damn, they be looking good. I mean,
you hit it right. The experience for me, like when I listen to Iris Ajay, right, it literally gives me goosebumps, and that's what I like about Colors, right? It doesn't do the hit, so it gives you a chance to actually dive deeper into who the artist is, right?
Yeah,
and I think that is fantastic.
It's so amazing.
But since you spoke on Ashake, let's dive down a bit and just dissect 2022. How was 2022 for you? And who was your standout?
Yo, that's a tough question. It's about to get controversial here because I mean the top two's dropped, eh? And for those who don't know, yeah, I don't even know how to unpack that, and how do we even begin to unpack it? But anyways, Burna and wizkid both dropped.
So Burna would be
Love
Love
Damini,
Damini, and then wizkid would be
Money and Love. And I think Burna dropped at such a strategic time because at that time he was on tour, and you know that was before Delicious.
Start to the move.
Oh, that it was just such a time. Tell me you were not listening to that album back to back before Delicious Fest.
Charlie, I listened to it.
It was all breakfast, lunch, and supper, bro. It was Love Damini.
Hey, science back
to the point
style.
where like your mind has even it remembers the instrumentals. That's how much I was listening to Love Damini before the fest and stuff. Great album, obviously. I think it definitely topped Twice as Tall, which was his previous album before that. I'd actually rate Love Damini as his best album, you know.
Smashed.
It was really good, you know. And we knew wizkid was about to drop because he kept teasing, man. Like he kept dropping dates, but then nothing was coming, and then came Money and Love.
Top 2
and not number 2.
We said it.
Do what you will with that information. Like this is a wizkid stan account.
Hey, all those Burna fans, you better not drop off now.
Yeah, I was about to be like, hey, you're about to lose followers here, you know. But actually, I don't know anyone who is per se a Burna fan like that. A lot of people in my circle are wizkid fans as well. They recognize who number 1 is.
I think that's a bit unfair. I mean,
why?
Let's unpack 2022, right? I mean, I'm an album listener, right? No matter what genre I'm listening to, I can't do the single thing.
Really? Why not?
It fades very quickly. I need to understand the process. I need to
behind
understand
you want a project, basically.
I want to be there with you, telling me everything. Common Person, Vanilla, Science, Last, you know, Different Size. What's the one? Party.
It's
plenty. You know, I literally want that experience, right? And remember, you mentioned experience area. So for me, 2022 was so blessed. Victory dropped. Omale.
I was about to get into that.
Omale dropped. Burna dropped. wizkid dropped. Ira dropped her deluxe, which had really new songs. What? My denim faded, but I rock it like a baby in the car. Hey. I put the water in the ocean in the city where I'm from. I paused.
I'm a fashion killer,
Dog! You know what I mean? So literally, the albums give me a moment to immerse myself. And I also find gems that people don't listen to.
Absolutely.
Do you get what I mean? So for me, Burna carried 2022. Like, he knew when to drop. He went on tour. Last was literally
Yo.
a rock. That was a rock. Burna was a rock star in 2022.
Arguably song of the year. Like,
Right? No, it's not arguably.
Are you still a wizkid fan? Please?
No, look, I am, but I am fair,
Okay,
right?
yeah, no,
'Cause
valid.
Burna carried 2022. Wiz carried 2020, right? With Made in Lagos, right? With Essence, with Ginger.
It's still, ooh.
Do you know what I mean?
Fire, yeah,
right?
okay.
Exactly. Run my race.
Bruh.
That outro. Come
Gyrate, I mean, that album just had. That's the one that also had. What is it called? Is it Blessings? The one with Bob Marley's son.
Damian Marley.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was also really
Yo.
nice. For someone who's not into reggaeton, I didn't skip that album, right?
I know.
So just the back and forth between Burna and Wiz, I think is like fantastic. Obviously, Wiz dropped.
Yeah.
You know.
Did they also drop BDO together last year?
Ballon d'Or, yes.
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or, yep. And they had so much fun.
They
you know?
did.
Like the top two in the same video.
Those two
just cruising
relationships,
it.
it confuses me so much because one moment we're getting fire hits and then next thing it's like there's beef and all, you know.
I know, as long as the beef cooks the creativity.
Hey,
I ain't
we ain't
complaining.
complaining. If it's stirring the pot, and I mean the output is, you know, either collaboration together or like they're both dropping fire albums, we ain't mad.
Exactly. So Money and Love was also very good.
Yeah.
I really love Wiz because he's like a slow burn type of vibe.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're getting married, it makes great proposal music, by the way.
Just FYI.
Just be careful how far you take the proposal music, you know.
Come on. Remember
turn.
actually how we had an idea to have, what did we call it? Wine and wizkid. What did we want to call it? But like a platform where, yes, you could basically wind down and wine your waist and listen to wizkid at the same time. No, because Money and Love definitely, and you know what? I think that, and I completely agree with you, Burna Boy definitely carried 2022 with Love, Damini and stuff. But as I would say as a day one wizkid fan who has seen his growth, who has watched his sound change, who has understood like where it is that he's driving his music. Money and Love like was so enjoyable to me because I feel like if you're a first time Afrobeats listener or a first time wizkid listener and maybe like, okay, yeah, that was basic, you know. But for us, it was kind of like you've watched his growth. Like you needed to have context to like
it was
that
another
album,
notch,
you
right?
know?
It was literally like a steady progression.
Literally,
right?
and like you're saying, slow burn. You know, I even listen to it now, and I'm appreciating some songs a little bit more. I'm like, okay, this one is hitting a little bit different. You know,
But Skepta takes it. I'm sorry, bruh. Starboy ting.
but you never seen a guy like this. Hey,
Come on.
no, that song is fire.
That song is the one for me on that
just,
album. But yeah, I think if I want a mood, that's the album I listen to, and that's when I knew I had switched over from all the other stuff I had been listening to Afrobeats. When I wanted a mood, and I could literally go through the Afrobeats catalog, and I could find it
and know who to listen to. Spot on.
Right before, if I was like sad or like depressed,
Yeah.
Frank Ocean. Got Omale.
There's Brad. Like,
Got
what do you
Victory.
mean?
Do you know what I mean? If I want hard raps, got Burna.
Yeah. Like
If I want
so...
division type, got Wiz.
Hey, no, actually, that comparison is so spot on. It's scary.
Yeah, that's when I knew.
Mad accurate.
That's
actually.
when I knew literally everything could be replaced. The only thing that can't be replaced is maybe like pop music's top two, right? And that would be Kanye and Drake. Are you choking?
I mean, the Kanye side I see. Also, Kanye's sound is just, I'm not sure how you could infuse that into Afrobeats.
Wow, actually, I never thought about that.
I don't think Drake, obviously, yes, we've had collabs with. So I think his sound definitely it merges well or amalgamates well into the Afrobeat sound. Kanye is just very standalone. Like, what Afrobeats feature would merge well with Kanye?
Don't think about the feature, but I mean, look at you were talking about growth, right? Like, look at Kanye. Went from college dropout, late registration, won the Grammys, then broke up with his fiance, late graduation. Then his mom passed, 808s. Before then, 808s were not a thing.
Yeah.
What could Kanye do with an Afrobeats palette, right? That could be lit. I'm not saying it would work,
but
it could be lit, right? Because literally Kanye just pushes and pushes and pushes, right? So yeah, somehow Afrobeats keeps pushing and pushing and pushing because we always got that new energy. We got new people coming in. I mean, just when you think Tiwa is done,
yeah,
she's back
else.
on.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Libianca, people literally went mad on TikTok. Everyone has a remix.
Like, can we actually, the role TikTok has played and Insta as well in blowing up Afrobeats, mad. Because I literally feel as though I'm more of a single person, not really. I need to listen to a single to be incentivized to listen to the album. And a lot of the times it's from that. It's from these platforms. You hear a song, people are doing a challenge and you're like, oh, okay, that's fire. Next thing, you go look it up. Tomorrow it's your jam, So
and people became a jam, right? I was telling a couple of friends that like People is cool, Libianca is cool. I just need her to have staying power. I need an album.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'll actually be able to be like, girl, you're here to stay.
I think another thing that I also appreciate about these upcoming artists is they're not one-hit wonders, Like, a lot of them are actually putting in the work. They may not be, for example, releasing fire albums, but you're gonna hear them come back again and again. I mean, you have for example, Buju hasn't released an album in a while, but he's there on features. He's releasing singles,
He did release an album last year.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What is the name of that album?
Back in 97.
Oh, yeah, he did drop. And he also had a Colors, eh?
That Colors was
it was fire. But
in
yeah, that's what I'm...
mind.
Hey.
No, that Colors was lit.
Yeah,
the album is bad. No, bad since 97. Yes. Bad since 97.
I don't know. I feel like... Okay, yes. So I don't know. When did he drop the album, though? Was it early last year?
No. I think it was September.
Yo, guys, we were spoiled. We really were, because I'm out here being like, I personally haven't listened to Buju in a while like that, and I'm thinking, this nigga ain't dropping.
Who is this man? I know.
He had a whole album.
2022 was a plethora.
No, it actually was. But what I was getting at was, I like the fact that like the upcoming artists aren't one-hit wonders. They're putting in the work. They're dropping. They're releasing albums, bruh. Like, it's just back to back.
Rent is due. What are you talking about, dog?
They're on here to play, you know? Because
I
mean, like, when you think about the Burners and the Wizkids and the Tiwas, they weren't releasing like that. Like, you would have time to actually marry over an album, and digest and be like, oh, okay, that was like a year or two. Hey, these new hits.
Dude.
They're not playing.
And that's, I think, what I like. There is no gatekeeping. Well, from our perspective, right? Like you said, you can literally release a song. If it blows up, then you literally got your space.
That's
right?
The platform. Like, the moment you have it, you need to run with it, because you keep releasing, people aren't going to forget you. Then you become a household name,
I need a verdict from you. 2022, your top pick. There's no tied 1 and 2. There's only one.
I'm gonna be biased. Your
credibility is on the line.
No, but I already gave context about why I really enjoyed Money and Love.
Yeah.
What was the question again? Are we doing
2022? Your top pick, your only pick, one.
Hey, I'm gonna let you go first, because
no, I'll give 2022 to Burnham. Solid effort. Love Damini carried us through. Still carrying us through. That would be my top pick for 2022.
I'm gonna be biased and say it was Big Wiz for me.
Sorry. Please speak louder.
The only number one that we recognize, But I gave my context, so it's a little bit biased. And yes, I gave Burner his flowers, but hey, me, I'm a diehard Wiz fan, guys. Like, just that sound. What do you mean?
All right. I get
But
you.
also, I feel like it's so hard to... I mean, yes, we're only talking about them, but I also really enjoyed Rema last year. I think Dirty was released last year. Oof.
Rema also released last
He
year.
was just, he was doing a lot.
Raves and Roses.
Bruh, that album was fire.
It was very good.
Yeah, no, I'm a diehard Rema fan, as you can probably tell. So
We need a tour. Let's start a petition. All right. 2022 picks are out of the way.
buys picks.
Well, you.
I called
right?
myself out, Charles. So
Where do you think Afrobeats is going? You've been listening to it since 2019, 2014, a really strong crop came out. And now we're literally had 2022 where it was literally so golden.
yeah.
Where do you see Afrobeats going, and can it keep this pace going? Would you say Afrobeats is mainstream?
Oh, absolutely. And just Davido actually recently had an interview where he was talking about this. The interviewer asked him why he didn't have any international features on his latest album, and he was like, I didn't see the need to, and he just spoke about how he's like, we're not there anymore, because he kind of alluded, facts, like he kind of alluded to the fact that there was a point in Afrobeats where it's like, to get the sound out there, you had to have an international feature. And now guess what? Everyone is playing Afrobeats internationally.
Charlie, please.
A feature where, And that's where I think Afrobeats is going. Like, it's now, it's a brand, actually. The way we said it's a culture, it's also a brand as well.
It's a champion sound.
Yeah, come on, it's only fitting. So I really like that. There's a lot of experimenting with sounds. We spoke about, the cross between, it could be language cross, genre cross and stuff. So I'm really enjoying that. And just the way the genre has morphed, also variations within Afrobeats. We're hearing a lot of that with these new upcoming artists.
Yeah.
Even the previous artists, like you can hear how their sound is changing. So I really like that. The fact that Afrobeats is mainstream. We don't need international features, and it's only straight to the top from here.
Do you see longevity if the old guard goes? So what I mean by old guard is like Davido, Tiwa, Burna, Weez, Don. If they all just step back,
Yes.
and let the new school carry forward.
New school technically, aside from Big Wiz and Burna, new school carried 2022, A lot
That's
of these
true.
new names we didn't know before, Ashake, Fireboy, DML, your Victonies, and your Ira Stars. So I think the talent is so genuine. It's really good. They could actually carry the genre,
You're saying the consistency is
The consistency, yeah. They haven't dropped the ball. I don't think they will. That's the thing.
Ooh.
And also
Whoa.
the spectrum is so wide. That's the thing. Like, it's you can't say, oh my gosh, in the next 5 years we'll only have an Ira Star, for example. There's probably going to be another upcoming artist, So there's just so much variation. And when it's like that, hey, bruh, people release like rent is due. There's that pressure to stay relevant. There's that pressure to, keep the genre going. Because it's like, if you don't, then I feel like, you're going to kind of fade away. You have to stay relevant. That's why even the old dogs are still doing it now. They have to.
So you see it just going and going.
It will only get better. We're already up there, but
I really hope so. I really hope so.
Why do you sound doubtful?
Longevity is a golden thing in anything, right?
Spot on.
Sports,
yeah.
Presidency, career. Longevity is literally like 6 Infinity Stones level, right?
Any chance to bring in Thanos?
Right, and if you're telling me you literally just see it chunka up a roller coaster, and then after the roller coaster, what do you gain? Momentum.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah.
That would be fantastic. For me, where do I see Afrobeats going? I just like the fact that it's given us presence. It's given us credibility.
The street cred. The block
Right?
is hot, bruh.
Think about it. When you people have these pop quizzes, these general knowledge,
Yeah.
And they'll be like, what song did ABBA release in 1964?
Yeah.
But I can just picture us like 20, 30 years later, and the pop quiz would be like, what song did Burna release that had people going crazy?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
spot on.
the pop culture is shifting, right?
Yes,
you can
absolutely.
literally Netflix can literally come and make a movie in Lagos, hire Lagosian talent, Lagosian fashion. Guess what? The music is also Lagosian.
Oh, come on.
For
come
me,
on.
I think the fact that we're getting to a level of home produced that we've always doubted we could as a continent,
Made in Africa.
and Afrobeats is a catalyst.
Absolutely.
It is literally a catalyst, and I just love seeing how far it can go.
I would actually argue that it's number one on the list.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
I can buy that because music, like, it just brings you together, right?
Like
you can forget your problems. You can get into the club. 3 hours later, you're like, yeah, dog, yeah, no, that was lit.
No, spot on. And this is why I was saying I love just how it transcends so many boundaries. Bruh, you could be in a club with like a German person, a Dutch person. Last comes on. Tell me you're not all gonna have a party.
It on gas.
Last.
Now everybody no chop breakfast.
Shayo. Actually, sometimes I can't believe we lived through that. Like, seeing these artists live is really great, Like, Burna Boy performed. I won't take that away from him.
I mean, there were tears in our eyes, dog.
I'll never forget how you looked when he came out and he performed Science. Like, what a time to be alive, in all honesty.
Like you'd say, life was sweet, eh?
Take me back. But I completely agree with you. Like, I just love the fact that it's so authentically us. And another thing is, it's ironic because Afrobeats is it has West African roots, but we've all just claimed it. Like, it's an African thing now, I mean, like I was saying, you're probably going to learn a Yoruba word here and there from listening to a shake. The pidgin is...
Chale.
I mean, it's there.
Chale.
But
yeah, wrapping up, what are you looking forward to in 2023 and going forward in the next few years in Afrobeats?
I'm looking forward to... There's a song that I listened to, and actually... probably gonna link my Afrobeats playlist after this, So,
do it.
So whoever's interested, no, actually I highly recommend everybody go listen because just fire. But there's a collab that I listened to. It had Buju on it. So it's Buju, Kiss Daniel, and Say Vibes. Gwagwalada, that's what it's called. It's so fire. But anyways, I make reference to that to just say I'm looking forward to a lot of collabs. I think we in 2022 we got to hear a lot of these artists, their sound. We got accustomed to who they are and what their brand was. I'm looking forward to collaborations, like just seeing those sounds mix. Especially with the new artists. I mean, we've kind of seen like the old dogs experiment with that and stuff, but with the newbies, that cross, I'm looking forward to that. Because I have no doubt that individually they're gonna release.
It's gonna be a knockout.
I mean, that one goes without saying. So I definitely say this year that's what I'm looking forward to. In future,
maybe just a few years beyond.
It's a little bit tough because Afrobeats evolves so quickly, We could be sitting here and saying this now.
That's true.
End of the year, it's a totally different story. And that's what I like about it. That's how it remains relevant and fresh, man. The wheel just keeps turning, So it's a little bit hard to say what it is that I'm looking for. All I'm going to say is surprise me, y'all. Like, these artists, they don't miss. So me, I'm just here. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to sample. I'm ready to have a party, as always.
That's a nice way to just leave it. But I mean, with your collab, maybe not your collab, but just that new infusion of energy.
Yeah.
Like you said, right? Who's waiting to be discovered? Who's working like rent is due? Because rent is probably due somewhere, right?
Spot on.
Who's about to break out? I think for me, that's literally what I'm looking forward to in 2023. And beyond is just the touring, Right. They must tour all 54. They must make us feel special. Brenna came. Okay, cool. I need Rema to come. I need Omale to come. I need Weez to come.
Yeah.
I need Victony to come.
Where do we sign up?
Do you know what I mean? They just need, like you said, this is homegrown. This is base camp, and they must just ignite that fire.
You got to bring it back here, because like the fan base is insane. This is where it started. It doesn't make sense to and I get it. Obviously, they want to venture out. They want to get the music and the sound out there. But sometimes it's important to bring it back home. It would be such a great experience to hear that your favorite Afro artist is touring. I mean, just think about it.
And just like that, a homegrown perspective. Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you to you guys who listen, even the burner fives. We still love you. We still love you. Wizkid fans, thank you. Afrobeat fans, we just really want to say thank you. And we are looking forward to so much more. But stay tuned. This is Championship Club. You know, get money, you take up.